So Mercury in Sagittarius. This is an optimistic mind. They see possibilities. They are able to connect the dots in a way that nobody else even tries. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they are speaking gibberish, pure and simple, and other times they're coming up with genius ideas. A Sagittarius Mercury is a visionary for the future. They see the trends of belief systems before it happens, like maybe homeschooling. They pick up on that before everyone else does, or a new diet that everyone's going to try. They're often very colorful to talk to. They're very vibrant, kind of seem happy-go-lucky, and they're very entertaining if you want to hear something that's different. They don't like to believe the same things that everyone else likes to believe. They like to be the original person, implement new ideas, new ways, or bring back some of the old ways. They don't like to be conventional. They also can have huge leaps of logic mentally. This can create genius ideas, or it can just be kind of like crazy absurd. In this, I think of the inventions that started out as an idea in a novel that led to technology eventually catching up. This is what it feels like to be inside of the mind of a Sagittarius. Thought is a big map. They are connecting dots. Maybe one dot is in science and then another dot is inside of music. And they're going to connect those two thoughts and those two ideas when nobody else thought those two pieces of knowledge had anything to do with each other. In some ways, you can think of them as like having a mind like a child. Because when you're a child, you think of things in terms of possibilities. And that is still how a Sagittarius Mercury thinks. They are mentally the most optimistic sign, like so extremely optimistic, anything is truly possible. Probably if they saw Peter Pan flying, they would just be like, oh yeah, hey, what's up? They probably believe that Harry Potter is real, and maybe Harry Potter is real. Their mind is very rebellious, because remember, Sagittarius is the explorer. They're kind of a pirate. They don't want to be held down. They want to be free. So this is a mind that wants to be free. It is not going to listen to how you tell them what to think. They love to debate. They love philosophy. They love to have someone that can banter back concepts. Sometimes a Sagittarius Mercury will become obsessed with their idea, and if you fight them on it, they will become really rigid. But usually, they just kind of want to banter back. They think belief systems are very flexible. That's the magical thing about it. You know, you can believe in one thing, I can believe in another. When they think of science and they think of things that the rest of the world sees as fact, Sagittarius Mercury doesn't see any difference between fact or fiction. What I mean by that is that hundreds of years ago, something was a fact, and now it is fiction. Or currently, there's something that's a fact, and soon it will be discovered that it's fiction. This is the place of mind that a Sagittarius Mercury is. Everything to them is both fact and fiction. They're usually very broad thinking. It's not about the details, it's about the largest picture possibly. And by large, I mean like spanning several universes. The bigger, the better. They're often very cheerful conversationalists. They usually make friends easily because that optimism attracts people to them. But I think that their ultimate goal is to be inspired. One downside of this position is that they're often not very good at cleaning because their mind is just wanting to go out further and further and further, and they're not focused on like all the little nitty-gritty things of life, the little to-do list. For them, the mind is Peter Pan. Life is an adventure. The mental process is adventurous. And the more abstract the subject, the more exciting it is. You can come away having a 5-hour conversation with one of them, and at the moment you're totally into it, and then you walk away thinking, what did we just talk about? I have no idea what we talked about. Yeah. They are obsessed with what the point is, not the details in between, the big scope of why, the big whys of life. What are we doing here? Where are we going? But it's like the closer you get to why, the more you don't know where you are. It's very confusing. They help expand people's ability to see. They take you out of your comfort zone mentally and throw you out to the nether regions of space. It can be exciting and adventurous, can change the way you think, open up your ability to believe, A downside of this position is that, without any facts, like what is your actual life? Like you're a little person here. Sure, you can search for the big why, like Buddha, but what about your actual life? Your children, your job, the car payments, all of that stuff. Just make sure to sometimes play with the world's constraints in order to just get some things done if you're having trouble with getting somewhere in life. Okay, so the voice of a Sagittarius Mercury is very childlike. They're very optimistic. They are very whimsical. They are very adventurous. And they often laugh when they talk. They have a voice that sounds like anything is possible. When you listen to their voice, it's like you're traveling. You're going places. So I guess they do have the voice of Peter Pan. You believe in a thought and suddenly you can fly. They make for great visionaries, philosophers, of course. Invent cutting-edge technology, comedians, revolutionists, professors, media, the arts, rights, reform, and religious leaders. All right, hope you guys like my take on Mercury in Sagittarius, and come back for the next episode. Subscribe.